you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing some Christmas decor shopping. If you missed my video from last week, we went through everything that I already have from years past. We went over some things that I want to do with some of those pieces, gave you guys a little bit of inspiration, and now we're sort of filling in those gaps before we start decorating. So for today's video, I ended up going to Michael's as well as Hobby Lobby. Those are two places that I love to go to for any sort of seasonal decor because they have affordable pieces and they usually have lots of dupes for more high-end expensive things that are just as good of quality. So I'm going to bring you into both of the stores. I'm going to point out some of my favorite things that I would love to use for my Christmas decor, and then we will come back here. I'll do a little bit of a haul of everything that I picked up, how I plan to style it, give you guys some different ideas for your own decorating, and it's just going to be such a fun video. So let's get this video started. First we're going to go to Michael's and then I will bring you to Hobby Lobby. We are now heading into Michael's, and when I went through this store, I felt like they didn't have everything out because there were a few empty spaces. So if you do plan on going, maybe wait a couple weeks and they'll have all that set out. But there were some very beautiful, unique pieces that I spotted. I loved the shape of these bells. I would do a little bit of a painting technique to make them look a little more aged and then maybe take off the greenery and the berries. But I love that sort of classic bell shape. These platters were probably some of my favorite things that I found at Michael's. It kind of reminds me of the gingerbread trend that's sort of going around right now. I just love how subtle and detailed they are. I love the pops of red and green with the bows, the wreath, the Christmas tree. So this little section was beautiful. I thought it was a perfect combination of modern as well as more of like a vintage Christmas. This section was also one of my favorites. There were a lot of really unique pieces in this aisle. These sort of mercury glass trees were really fun. They only had a couple sitting out. Like I said, I don't think they had everything ready to go, but these were very large, substantial pieces, and I loved the ribbed details. I love these plates as well. I like how they're black and white, but they still have that sort of winter feel to them, and they work really well for the holidays. This chunky knit blanket was a really good deal. I believe on this day everything was at least about 40% off. I also love to decorate with pine cones, so I was happy to see they had those available. And this was one of my favorite pieces that I found at Michael's. I loved all the detail and the depth of this Santa statue. The wood tone of it is absolutely beautiful. This is one of those decorations that isn't too cheesy. I feel like you can definitely get into that world whenever you're looking at Christmas decor. And then I also saw these trees. They would be perfect for shelf styling, mantle styling. You could really put them anywhere in your home. Now on to the greenery and pick section. You'll see later on that when we went to Hobby Lobby, there really weren't that many options. This one was one of my favorites. I loved the actual pine cones, just a little pop of red. It's a very deep red, and these branches were all so soft as well. They weren't scratchy. They felt super high quality, and a lot of these stems, like this one, were very substantial, so you'd only need a couple to fill a vase, or you could use it to fill in gaps in a garland. This one is a good option if you're looking for something with a lot of movement and it just sort of drapes really nicely. I also wanted to showcase these velvet ornaments. These were very popular last year, and it looks like they also are this year because there was only one left in this beautiful red color. Michael's also had some really nice sort of natural bowl filler options. They had cinnamon sticks and then little bags of pine cones and berries, perfect for filling a dough bowl, putting in a lantern, or even this sleigh. If you haven't been paying attention to Christmas decorating trends this year, there is a big sleigh that everyone is loving. This is obviously a bit of a smaller version. This would be perfect to put bowl filler in and style on a shelf. Michael's also had a really good selection of mini trees. This one was one of my favorites, even though the vessel is not my favorite. You could pop it in a different pot or a basket, but overall all of these trees were very natural. I loved the white berry detail on this tree. Trees are always nice to pop on a stool or just put anywhere to add a little bit of height and visual interest to a space. They also had some smaller thin garlands. I thought they were wreaths at first, but they are sort of rolled up. If you like to hang garland around like a light fixture, or you just want something that's not too full, or just combine it with other different garlands like these ones, it would be perfect for that. And just like the greenery stems, all of their garlands were very high quality, very natural, very soft. They all ranged in prices from about $19.99 to maybe $59.99 depending on which one you end up going with. And they also had a few trees on display as well as some tree collars. We personally don't have one of these, but I love this. I love the tone and the woven material. I love to incorporate those earthy colors in any way that I can, especially around the holidays. And lastly, there were a couple tree toppers that caught my eye. I loved this one with the mercury glass and the bronze. This one also lit up and it was a pretty good price, especially after the discount. And this one was a bit more pricey, but I loved the brass as well as the milky glass. Now let's head on in to Hobby Lobby. This is one of my favorite places to get decor all year round. I started in the greenery section and quickly realized they didn't have as many options that I liked, at least compared to Michael's. They had some basic ones. They also had a few with pine cones and white berries. This one was also a very substantial pick for not too bad a price. You could just get 3 of these to fill a vase. One of my favorite pieces that I found in today's video is this beautiful tree. I love the tone of the wicker basket and the size, the mix of the pine cones and the red berries. And this tree was such a good price at 50% off. So if you're in need of a small, realistic little tree, I feel like this one could be a really good one to check out. And in that same area, I found a few different picks that had some bigger pine cones. This one was fun because I had a lot of different textures of greenery. It wasn't just pine needles and pine cones, there was some leaves in there. Some of the berries weren't my favorite tone of red. They're a little bit more of a true bright red, but you could always pop those off if for some reason that didn't appeal to you. These next few items aren't technically Christmas decor, but I did spot them and I thought they would be a wonderful addition to the holidays. These wall baskets can be incorporated all year round, and for some reason these keys really caught my eye. For some reason it made me feel very nostalgic. There's just something about them that screamed holiday to me, so these would be fun to display somewhere on a hook. And then this bow frame I thought was so pretty, especially for the holidays. I love the detail of the frame and the size of it. And in this section of the store usually goes 40% off every other week or so you can definitely get a much better price than what is shown on the screen. When I went to Hobby Lobby, all of these pieces were 50% off. I love the idea of stacking storage boxes. It sort of plays with that idea of repetition, and they're also practical because you can store things in them, and Hobby Lobby had so many different ones to choose from. So back to the velvet ornaments, Hobby Lobby also had some of their own. I believe they have a cream color, brown, green, as well as a sort of tan khaki color. These trees also caught my eye. I loved the look of them and all of the dimension and detail. When I picked them up, they're actually a lot more lightweight than I thought they would be, so that's really nice. I don't think they're breakable at all. And they had 3 different sizes, so it'd be fun to sort of pair these together or do the whole trio. I picked up one of these nutcrackers last year and stained it. I believe they have their own version that's already done, or at least that's already finished for you. But if you have the stain and you are willing to do that, it actually is a much better deal, especially since they're a lot bigger. They also had some mini wreaths that you could hang in windows, put on the back of bar stools or dining chairs. You could prop it up on a shelf. I loved the natural details of this, and also how fluffy the pine branches were. They're great if you want to add a pop of greenery or red. So when I was shopping around, I almost bought one of these candles, one of the smaller ones, but it was this scent in the green color. The detail that they put into all of these vessels is adorable. I love the vintage feel of them and how they paired them with the brass as well. This was the candle in particular that I almost brought home. This is the scent Tree Trimming, and I love the fluted detail of the glass. It was also just a really good price, and this scent in particular came in a lot of different packaging and sizes. I also loved the wood wick candles. I have a fall version in a different scent by the same company, but these smelled so good. So if you're in the market for that, this one would be a good one to check out. I loved this wreath door hanger. I thought the brass tone was perfect, and I loved the little addition of the joy. And here are a few of my favorite picks. This is sort of in the actual Christmas section. They're a little bit on the smaller side, so they are a little bit more affordable. I loved how sparse and natural this one was with the pine cones and the tone. I also spotted these bronze magnolia leaves. These are fun because they're not glittery, they're just a little bit shiny, and you can sort of fan them out and stick them in your tree or a garland. And same with these little picks. I love the pop of bronze if you want to add a little bit of whimsy and a little bit of contrast to your tree. If I didn't already have a Christmas village, I would definitely have picked up one of these houses. Hobby Lobby always comes out with a new version, I feel like every single year, and this one is one of my favorites. The white part almost has a concrete sort of stucco feel to it. These are ceramic houses, so that's just something to keep in mind. And I love how they contrasted that with a wood roof. I wanted to show these reindeer because, as you can see, you can take off the greenery and you can have more of a whitewashed wood reindeer. The tone of these was really pretty and the size was really good as well. Now on to a few garlands. I believe they came out with this one 1 or 2 years ago. They have a couple different bell versions, and of course you can use these garlands on your actual tree, but you can also layer them with other garlands over a mantle, on a stair banister, and there's just so many different textures and colors to choose from. Lots of ornaments. These ones are my favorite. I love the texture and the little pop of color, and as you can see, at the time they had a big cart parked in front of all of the garlands. I wasn't able to get a great look at them, but they were pretty similar to Michael's. I felt like Michael's were a bit softer in terms of how they actually felt, but still quite a few options. Similar to the bells that we saw at Michael's, these are another bell that I would do a little bit of a DIY on just to add a little bit more aging and patina. And I love the unique shape of this one, and if you like more of a modern look, this one would be a good one to look at. Now on to Hobby Lobby's Christmas trees. Again, lots to choose from, lots of different textures. They had regular trees as well as flocked trees. I tended to gravitate towards, I think it was called a Brittany fir. I love the wispiness of the branches at the ends, and also the tone of green is what I personally like. Some of them were more natural with those pine cones, and then they also had a couple tree collars. This one was fun because it was almost like a timbre effect, and then they also had a woven one as well. On to the infamous wall of ornaments. There were just a handful in here that I thought were really pretty and would really add a lot of texture and variation to your tree. I love these ornaments, but they are actually glass. They're very heavy, but they had lots of textures. They had these sort of mercury glass ones, amber glass, and I love the patina as well as the character that they're able to put into these ornaments. Also, at the end of that ornament cap, I found these paper snowflakes and Christmas trees. The snowflakes you could put anywhere on a wall, and the trees you could incorporate into a tablescape and mantle or any sort of console styling. They also had quite a few stocking holders if you have a mantle. I personally liked the more simple ones. These ones were nice and lightweight and very inexpensive. If you wanted something a little heavier, they also have these ones that have a little bit of weight to them. And if you wanted to add a little bit more character to your mantle, they did have reindeer and snowflakes, lots of different options. Looking at their stockings, the one that stuck out to me the most was this knitted one. I love the cable knit texture, and if you didn't like the little pom-pom detail, you could always take that off. I love the idea of mixing stockings together that are all sort of different knitted textures. Lastly, there are a few things in the sort of serving and hosting section. I loved this line of platters. The pattern on the outside was beautiful with the simple Christmas tree in the middle, and they had things like dish towels as well. So that's it for all the shopping. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you guys home, recap on everything that we saw today, and then show you guys what I picked up and how I plan on styling it in my own home for this year. Okay, we are now back from shopping. I hope you guys enjoyed that little portion of the video. I feel like both stores definitely had their strengths over the other. If you're looking for more greenery and garlands, I felt like Michael's had a lot more options as well as higher quality pieces, if that makes sense. But if you're looking for like a one-stop shop where you want to get ornaments and tableware and shelf decor, things like that, I felt like Hobby Lobby definitely had all of that. So hopefully you got a good idea of what each store has. That way you know exactly which place to go. I'll also try to link some of my favorite things that I saw in the stores down below. Sometimes it's a little difficult to find links with Hobby Lobby and Michael's, so I'll do my best to make sure you check that out below. But I do have a few things to share with you that I'm excited to incorporate into my decorating this year. So first things first, if you guys saw my video from last week, I got rid of some really sparkly gold picks. I actually ended up selling those on Marketplace like I was talking about. So going into the stores, I was sort of on the lookout for something to replace that, something that was going to give my tree a little bit of texture, maybe something not gold like the last one, because we do have a lot of gold ornaments and other things that we're going to bring in. So when I was at Hobby Lobby, I found these. These are just some really simple white picks. They just have these little foam balls on them, and I love them because first of all, they were $2 a piece and they were 50% off, so it was like $1 per stem. But you can also spread them around quite a bit. They're very whimsical. I feel like they're going to add lots of texture and also really contrast well against obviously the green of our tree. Michael's also had a version of this, except the stem of theirs was white and like the whole entire thing was white. Also, I apologize for my voice in this video. My brother got married this past weekend and it seems that I am losing my voice a little bit. So I have quite a few of these. I ended up getting 7 of them just because, like I said, they're only like $1 a piece. So these are going to be really fun to add a lot of texture, especially to like a faux tree. You could even add these to arrangements if you wanted something a little bit more whimsical feeling. And this could work for neutral decor as well as more of like a traditional look, or if you like to decorate with blues or pinks, it literally goes with everything. So those were a fun find. Next up, also at Hobby Lobby, I found this beautiful reindeer. I think it's so pretty. I've seen lots of people incorporating reindeer, I mean obviously over the past few years, but I feel like I've seen them so much already this year. And Hobby Lobby had a really pretty classy version of one. I love the brass tone. I love the slight patina on there. It is quite sparkly. It'll stick to your fingers. But the main thing I loved about this was the size. I feel like scale can really play a big part, especially in interior design. Having pieces that actually fit your shelves or fit your space is actually really key to making it look very high-end and just very put together and elegant. This one was $25.99. So after that discount, it was only $13. So this was what I call my investment piece. There was also like a standing version, so this would look really pretty if you have a really big console and you just wanted to pair them next to each other. They look really put together, very dynamic with the different heights. And Hobby Lobby had quite a few versions of this. They had like a velvet looking one, so it sort of looks like those velvet or flocked ornaments from last year that were really popular, except in deer form basically. They also had like some wooden ones. Some of them had like little bows tied around their necks or wreaths, and just so many different options to choose from. I think this is going to be a beautiful styling piece for my shelves. I want to stack up like some books and just put this right on top. I don't have anything like this, so excited to use that this year. So lastly, on my way home from shopping, I did a little bit of a Walgreens photo pickup. I actually didn't get anything Christmas related from Michael's. I felt like they still had a few different things to put out. I saw a couple like empty shelves and aisles and things, so maybe Michael's is gonna come out with a little bit more. I did get a couple things that you guys will see later on for my bedroom makeover. I've slowly just been gathering things like that, and I had a few things on clearance, so I definitely checked that out. But I will just show you guys a couple of the prints that I got. So you guys know that I love to do like Etsy prints that you just buy digitally and then you can print them off yourself. I ended up finding like a vintage sort of downloadable Christmas package. I don't even remember how many photos it came with. It's like 50 or something crazy like that. So I had lots of prints to choose from. I have a really big gallery wall in our living room. It has 9 different frames in it. So I wanted to sort of bring in something that had a little bit of red, a little bit of that vintage traditional feel. So I'll just show you guys a couple of them. Like I said, I got 9 of them, and then I got an extra one for like a gold frame that I have. But this one is super pretty. I love the sort of old-time vintage looking Christmas tree on there with the fireplace. It's just such a beautiful little Christmas scene. And then I'll show you one more. This one is sort of like a little Christmas town. Like I said, I just wanted to bring a little bit more of like the red traditional Christmas colors into my decor this year, and I felt like that was the only wall that didn't really have much red. And with prints, you can do so many different things. A lot of people will print them off and they'll do that sort of Mod Podge trick on them to sort of make them look aged or old. Some people have like those little mini easels that you can prop it up on for like a shelf styling moment. It adds a lot of height. You can do any size you want. You could put it in any frame you want. There are so many different things that you can do with digital prints. Alright, you guys, that's going to wrap up today's Christmas shopping video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I apologize again for my voice. I didn't realize it was this bad until I actually sat down and started talking with you all, but I had lots of fun bringing you guys through the store, showing you guys some of my favorite pieces that will make your home look high-end but for an affordable price. Let me know if you've been to either of these stores or if you want to go to either of these stores now that you see what they have out. Let me know what some of your favorite pieces are that you saw today, and let me know if you have decorated for Christmas this year. I feel like that's the hot topic every single year whenever the holidays roll around. It's just interesting to know what people think about that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for spending some time with me on my channel. I hope you enjoyed it and got lots of ideas for yourself. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, you guys.